Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Professionals Pulse. I'm Farida Musaddi, the co founder and CEO of Alphateh Technologies Dubai. The Professionals Pulse is a journey where we delve into the expertise of industry leaders and glean their invaluable insights. Firstly, as we've stepped into the new year, we extend our warmest wishes to all our viewers. Years to a year brimming with knowledge, growth, and success. In 2023, we embarked on this journey, inviting experts from diverse fields to illuminate our path. As we stride into 2024, we are committed to continuing this enriching journey, promising you more wisdom and guidance. For Al Fateh, this journey has been nothing short of exceptional. We forged partnerships with global entities and engaged in discussions for large scale projects, shaping a promising future ahead. Well, talking about today's episode, in today's digitally interconnected world, safeguarding data privacy stands as a paramount concern. Today's topic: data privacy compliance, adapting to evolving regulations in the digital age, delves into the complex landscape of data protection. As regulations continually evolve to address emerging technologies and global connectivity, navigating this terrain is pivotal for businesses and individuals alike. Joining us as we explore the nuances of data privacy compliance, unraveling strategies to adapt and thrive within this ever evolving framework. And with us today is Miss Vanya.
Hello, Farida. How are you today? How are your audience? It's my
I'm
pleasure
fine.
to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you as our guest on the show, Vanya. Thank you so much for being a part of the Professionals Pulse today.
I say thank you
So,
for you.
Vanya is a bilingual speaker with proficiency in Spanish, English, and Portuguese, and she's an attorney specializing in tax law. She holds a master's degree in compliance with CCP IABFM certification, which is Certified Compliance Professional. She completed training in business development for fintechs at Harvard and is an expert in GDPR, data protection, and cybersecurity from prestigious international institutions. Currently, she serves as the CCO, that is the Chief Compliance Officer, and has an MBA in Metaverse and Digital Management. She was awarded at the Lex Falcon Global Awards Dubai 2022 as a data protection lawyer. She has international experience in establishing companies in Latin America and Arab countries, including the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. She acts as a mentor for traditional businesses and startups and is a specialist in business and legal management for the internationalization of companies. A multi sector entrepreneur in beauty and aesthetics, restaurants, and jewelry. She holds the DPO Exim International Certification for Data Protection Officer. She is also the leader and CEO of Takia Wealth, based in Dubai, UAE, specializing in trading and business legal consulting, and Terra Compliance, a Brazilian company specialized in compliance, digital, and cybersecurity consultancy. Once again, Vanya, it's really a pleasure to have you here with us today, and thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure. I'm looking forward to sharing all my thoughts, my experience with your prestigious audience today. And let's see what can I add for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, beginning with how do you navigate, this very dynamic landscape of data privacy regulations, especially considering the varied requirements across different regions or countries?
Yes, this probably is the most challenge in our profession, in our area, because we are talk of different laws. Even these different laws, they are very similar to the mother of them, that is the GDPR. But each country, they have their own particularity issues. So I realized that this is, instead to be, for one easy, it's easy because you have all the similarities. For other way, if you don't know these tricks, the difference between one country legislation and another, you can think they are all GDPR, and you will lose important issues. Like, for example, I like to use the example of Saudi, that they have 2 years jail, considering the law, if you leak data, sensitive data. So this don't used to happen in any other, even in the GDPR, the mother of this kind of law. So this is very, very important for company that leader with a different jurisdiction, because if you don't know these small things that make each law different each other, may you will commit some irregularity, for to say the minimal, or even illegality. So this is a big challenge, because we are talking about different countries, million different countries, and this is important because in nowadays we don't work with our own jurisdiction. We need to transfer this data all the time. So
Absolutely.
this is a challenge, but with all the tools, like we will talk later about all these technology can help us to be aware about all this, but we need to be conscient about all this difficult and work with that. So it's not only about the laws, it's also important to know that we need to think like we are the captain. When as company, as compliance in a company, we need to think that we have this big ship that we
Correct.
go through different ports, and that this captain, he must to know each law when he will be in the harbor, what this particular harbor need as law for entering this jurisdiction, this country. So it's the same issues. As captain
Correct.
of our company, our compliance, we need to know when we go on board a different jurisdiction is to know what they ask for us, and not about only the law, data protection law, but all the, I don't know, like a CISO, like ISO. So it's different jurisdiction and different kind of regulations. It's not law,
Correct.
it's law and regulation that we need
Regulations.
to be aware. Yeah, looks difficult, but we can manage that.
Correct. So, as you correctly said, as the captain of the ship, each company, it's the responsibility to be very much aware about these different regulations and to abide by them.
Yes. It's for that we need the companies and everybody that work inside the company related with the cybersecurity and compliance. They must talk each other. They must to share all these knowledge each other. So this is not something that I can do alone. It's a group
Absolutely.
of team. Each one, IT, lawyers, compliance, HR, each one must to know what they must to do and talk each other for to leader with this challenge, and then can be smoothly.
Absolutely. I agree with you completely. So, according to you, which are the biggest challenges that companies face when striving to maintain the compliance with data privacy laws, and how can they overcome these challenges effectively?
Yeah, as I comment, the complex regulatory, that means laws and regulatory, it's a big challenge because it's not a simple law, and
Correct.
several laws that talk about. This is a challenge. other challenge is integrate in the same system all these law and regulations. So the company must to invest in technology that can integrate all these regulatory and laws, and I know everything that nuances that the law exists, because it's not a simple law. They require a lot for the company to be compliant. And special, I will tell you this because, okay, this is difficult, much to do, but it doesn't matter if you have the perfect tools or perfect technology to integrate all this law, as professional, all this law. But if you don't integrate your company, since the top, by the bottom, doesn't
Correct.
matter, because in the end of the day, who will leader with the data? It's the employee. It's the
Absolutely.
personnel of the company. So these people, they must to be aware about this culture of the company. Of the company have this culture of privacy. Okay, they must to be aware about that. What it means, training. What it means, a lot of idea of what is compliance, what is the ethical things to do with this personal data.
Correct, correct. So, as you mentioned about technology and using the right kinds of tools, so with what kind of tools or what kind of technology can one use in order to be aware about these different compliances?
Yeah, in nowadays there is a lot of software, very good software, that they combine all the requirement of the laws and the regulations. But again, does it matter if you have the perfect tool, the perfect software that can manage all this data, but if you don't do this assessment very well, like I mean, privacy by design. So since at the beginning, when you think your company, you must think it's by design. Also, the software and all the archivables of the company must to be, since at the beginning, prepared for
Correct.
accept and develop all these tools and put inside the software. Then, if it is, because you cannot do by part, okay, in this department or in this particular machine or computer, how you put it this. This does
Correct.
work, because then you have a tail that will make everything come down. So this is important. The other thing is transparency, because okay, you have the tools, you have the machine, you have everything perfect, the best software, the company invests a lot, but it's not transparent. So how it
Correct.
works? Who works? How is the policy for the employees that are leader with this, with the department that are leader with that, must to be transparent for everybody, even for the customer. The customer must to know what the company are doing with the data. So
With the
all
data.
software
Yes.
can help. There is, I don't will say one or two because there is a lot, but this software need to be integrated. Doesn't matter. I know a lot of software that take care of a part of the
But not
problem.
acting at the whole. Correct.
Not the whole, exactly. So
Yes. Yes.
this is important thing when the company hire or buy the software to manage all this, or even the company, because maybe he don't buy his own software, they use as a service, no,
Correct.
but
Yes.
must to be aware that the software must needed to take care about all process, not part of it.
Part of
Because,
it.
for example,
Absolutely.
nowadays some, okay, I will take care about the data entry. What
Correct.
about the assessment, for example? What about the future? How you prepare the future when coming new tools for the company? What coming new technology, news, even
Correct.
data transfer? So everything must to be integrated, and the IoT can help. Yes, fantastic. But if you know how to use it well, no.
Correct, correct. And of course, one thing that is also of utmost importance is definitely the different countries, as you mentioned right at the beginning. Each country has their own set of regulations. So the software that has to be, be able to handle the different regulations of the different countries. So I think that's where an expert like y'all come into picture, and y'all integrate global laws and regulations and okay. emerging technologies as we AI and IoT, which is we have so many different applications, Chat GPT, etc. Leveraging the potential of these innovations also. I know you just told us about that there are softwares, but at the same time you have to take care that the software is a wholesome software, taking care of each and every part of it. But right now a lot of industries are moving towards AI, because we feel that AI gives us a wholesome approach. So is it true, or there are aspects of it which even an AI, if a company is relying on an AI based software, so is there a potential that these softwares would be able to handle everything that is there to be taken care of?
Will be easy for us like that, simple like that, but not. It's not too simple. Yeah, all these technology and AI, it's perfect, help us a lot, but depend who manage and how manage this technology, because finally it's who is up, it's behind this, who is the in the keyboard giving the command. So if you don't use well the technology, the AI, this may can be even against you. So that is something very good point that you mentioned, Farida, because people think in our day we can only cross the arm and that the AI will work to me. No, the AI depend of a good input. So if
Correct.
you give the wrong input or half input, it's a machine. They don't understand well like us. May some phrase that's not well saying. So everything will depend of us, and this finally depend of how we, as responsible of the compliance of the technology, we must to training, we must to have a good policy, and that these people that is behind the AI, they must to know what to do and how to do. How to do, it's very important. Otherwise, even the same AI can leak data that is could be a big damage for the company if they receive information that they must not to receive. It's not too easy. You go there and put information of your company that may it's sensitive data, or may it's something that must be in secret, and they don't care about that. Go and only feed this AI. This go to the globe. Imagine sensitive information and information that is the core of the company. It's in the world. Everybody can have access. So the AI, it's important. Since we know what to put it there, what to ask and how to ask, because otherwise can be a big problem instead solution.
Be dangerous. Correct. Correct. Absolutely. And I think AI is also biased again. So there
So
is that. AI is biased because, as you said, the data that we put in, that is how it responds. It doesn't think by itself.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Exactly. So could you share a few examples of, successful strategies or best practices that companies have adopted to ensure compliance with these data privacy laws without hindering their operations or innovation?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because everybody, many of people think, okay, if I will invest or let's say spend money in all this technology, in software, or in renovating my system, it's cost. I don't have that money. So I will invite people to think experience, don't do it. You will see what can be further if we, for example, the customer that today they know the right, and
Correct.
as they know the right, they will ask you what are you do with their rights. And who understand very well, if you want to know about the companies, I will cite only two good example. One is ABM. I love the way that they manage the data. They protect and they measure. They have tools that measure what happened, the input and output of all this data, since they are technology company also, but the way that they manage all these core, because finally all company needs data. Which
Right.
company can survive without data,
Without
no?
data.
And the
Yes.
ABM, it's one that manage all this assessment very well. And this example came in very good reputation for the company, because finally who is around, especially the customer, they feel comfortable to bring to work with them. All the stakeholders know the data, or even the secret. It's okay, it's safe with ABM. Same we can say about Apple. Imagine how much customer Apple took from other companies when they started, when we even don't know, we as personal data, we don't knew yet how dangerous was our data in everywhere. But Apple immediately, before everybody, anybody, they make us to know the importance, and we can decide by our phone what we receive, what not, if we can be
Correct.
tracked or not. So this made Apple grow 30% immediately, because they started to show the people, so show the customer, look at, you can protect, and not you can, you need to protect your data, because in nowadays with all these scammer hackers hijacking our information, the company that don't understand that the customer must to be protected, and that they are hyper-sufficient, how can I protect? The company must to provide me all these possibility. So companies that is doing that, like ABM, like Apple, it's doing very well. Apple don't have the best iPhone, but they have the best technology for protection. So for example, I want to change my iPhone many times, but when I think how they do with the protection, I don't
Correct.
change. Okay,
Absolutely.
there are others that work better resolution, better camera, better system, but the protection that
The
Apple
data
provides
protection.
does exist yet. They are really good in that. So this is what example that the other company must to understand. Okay, must invest, yeah, but this is the word. It's not cost, it's investment, because this for sure will bring back to you all the customer and loyalty that you must to have from the customer.
I
No,
think the key is to be transparent to your customers and to let them know how you're using their data.
exactly. That's the key.
Okay. Uh, as regulations, they keep evolving. And so, how do you anticipate the future of data privacy compliance? And what steps, according to you, should companies take to proactively adapt to these changes?
Yeah, for sure. Because I mentioned before about all these hijack and hackers, scammers, and everywhere that it's around us all the time. Company now, countries, they are make the law more strictly. In the beginning, I mentioned each law that come after GDPR. I forget to mention. I will mention now. I guess it's important, because one important thing for us as professional to be aware about all this ever-changing legislation is to study, keep
Correct.
study. So I
Yes.
love to travel and around the world, the different and when I go and to know different culture, I want to know how they are leader with the law, data protection law, because the first law, GDPR, was in 2018.
Okay.
After that, we had these all new laws, and each country they come doing their own law, but they do different, as I comment, legislation. So this is what when I because my master was in Spain, so was in GDPR, and that was 6 years ago when all this started more or less. And since that, I was studying each law, different culture when I travel. I even have a YouTube one channel that is LGPD around the world. It's like it was GDPR around the world, but LGPD is the Brazilian law. I started
Okay.
to do that because I need to put in my mind all this different and be up to date with this change. And
Absolutely.
what I realized from this, let's say, this experience, it's every new law that coming, they come more strictly. They come more, of course, everything they took this experience for GDPR and all what coming happened from there, and so they do better. And that is the tendency. Each country will make better, more strictly, more regulated. This is something that we cannot only lay down as, okay, we have a GDPR and that's the law. That's not the law anymore. Even the GDPR in these 5 6 years, they change a lot. They are all the
Correct.
time updating new regulations, new observations, or whatever. So this is something that we must to be sure that will happen in the future. All the law they will be updating strictly all the time, not less, more strictly all the time.
Absolutely.
So this system that we are talking must to escalate like that. They must to
Correct.
be prepared to be updating all this changing all the time, and not only regulator but regulators, because there is the law, and the law that comes from the regulators who make the law happen. No, so all this thing is about the culture. If we don't understand the culture, that will change, because us as usuary, as personal data, we will start to ask. We will start, no, we already do, but much more ask for the customer, the company, what are you doing with my
My
information,
data. Correct. Correct.
my data? Exactly. So this culture that is changed around the world, not inside of the company, not inside of the parliament that is made doing a different law, but inside of the society. This will change everything, the world that we see. Not anymore, okay, give me or call me whatever 10 times per day about, remember, we receive a marketing call all the time. This it's what happened. Customer right now, who gave my
So
phone for
many.
you? Why are you calling me? What are you
Yes.
doing with my information after I gave you consent? Have you um
Shared it with others. Yes.
exactly. So Farida, this is what coming for the future. More and more strict laws, more and more aware knowledge about us, titular of that data. So this, if the company is not working on it, they will be in deep problem very soon.
Uh, as you tell me this, something that comes up with my mind. What about there are companies right now, who have a global audience or who have data from a global audience. So how would a company as such take care about data? Because as you correctly said, every country has its own regulations that have to be abided by. So how does a multinational company take care of all of these regulations and ensure the data privacy?
Yeah, the most important is to have the compliance officer or GPO, the somebody that is responsible only for that department. I mean,
Okay.
doesn't matter if you choose, okay, this, let's say HR, this guy will take care about this part of the company. No, the company must to have somebody that know the laws, that follow the law but day by day. And not only, I'm not talking about lawyer, I'm lawyer, but I cannot do nothing without the IT guys, nothing,
Correct.
because these IT guys, they know about the regulation. I know about the law, but all
Absolutely.
these regulation that coming for all this technology, I don't know, because I even don't understand well all these nomenclature. It's a quite this
Correct.
is a work that we must to do as team, and the company that work with transfer of data must to have this kind of team that it's up to date of the law and regulation, and that it's all the time study. This is the key thing that must to do. It's not, okay, I have this license or this certification. Doesn't matter. All certification I had, I am every time study a little bit more, because changing. because something new come, because some tools, for example, this AI, all the time comes some news of how I can do that, how this can help me, or even not can make some damage if I use that in wrong way. So who transfer data must to know what in the other country that I will transfer my data, how is that law, how is that regulation, how is the effect or the penalties that will come if I leak the data, because there is jurisdiction like Europe, they are mature in that. They are very, very strict with that. There are other jurisdiction, like the law is still new, or even they have the law but not the regulator. Okay, may you have a little bit of time to take care about this, but some other jurisdiction you don't have a time. You must do right now. You not. So what means he needs a good equipe that know how to work and a good software that can manage all this, because this is not something that you can do by Excel anymore. In the past, we could do that, but nowadays we need a good software that can manage all this and understand this different legislation.
Cross country.
And especially, Farida, how I save this data, because okay, you are, I don't know, in Europe, and I am using your data here. Okay, I use you consent. What I do after that? Immediately I must delete this. I cannot save this data. Maybe I send the marketing for you later. You can. This is illegal, absolutely illegal. Some countries, they don't even have the law yet, depend of the jurisdiction. Even most of the country in the world already have, but some they don't have the regulator. This come after, sometimes 2 years after the law. So the company must know which company, which country are you working for, understand how how big problem you may have, or may you have a time to adapt your system. So this depends of somebody that knows about laws in different jurisdiction and regulation, and software that can read that. No.
Correct. No, I completely agree with you. And I think what you said is absolutely right. This is what you mentioned, that it should be a teamwork with everybody involved together. Yes, absolutely. What role does transparency play in ensuring the data privacy compliance, and how can organizations effectively communicate their data practices to build that trust with their consumers?
Well, the trust is crucial for building a consumer trust.
Okay.
What is the company if they customer cannot trust in this company? So for that, the company must work with the transparency. Look at, I take your data, I did this with your data. Now, after I use this data, I'm doing that. So you see, there are a lot of sites, let's say, or app that you go. There is this information there in the top, in the bottom. We are collecting your data. Okay, that's not enough. This is ridiculous. I laugh because, okay, you are collecting my data for what? In what condition? What are you doing with that? So they think if you put a small information that I'm collecting your data and you agree, I agree with what? Because, okay, are you collecting my data for what? For marketing, for essential tool, because I need to enter in the, I need to have the choice, the transparency immediate when I enter in your app and your site. I need to choose, okay, marketing I don't want, necessary, for example, cook, I don't have option. Okay, I understand, otherwise I cannot use the site. I don't know, you wanted to increase your firmament and you use my data for that. No, I don't want you use, you may do it somebody else. Let me choose. This is transparency. If you only collect your data, this is not option. You only inform that you are collecting the data. So that is transparency. And the people don't understand. They believe the law say, if I put this information here, my customer already know I'm collecting the data. Oh, this is not like that. So the transparency, it's fundamental to bring loyalty for your customer, to bring security for your customer. So the company that don't understand that, and that this software, even that it's collecting data, collected data, and don't inform the customer their rights, because the customer have a lot of rights, and not only customer, all stakeholders, employees, visitors, whatever. Even we think usually a customer, no, everybody that your company, even the guy that came to deliver some food in your reception, and he must to show his ID to enter. This is not a customer, no. This is not a stakeholder, no. But this is a data that you are collecting. You need to protect it. He has rights. Are you prepared as company to protect his right? So this is about transparency. This is what will be fundamental for the company that who will have a success or not in the future, or even in nowadays.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful to know. Yes, I completely agree that a company needs to be transparent to their customers that how they're going to use that data. That's very, very much important in today's times.
Yes.
So, in a globalized digital landscape, how do you manage compliance with conflicting or overlapping data privacy regulations from, different jurisdictions? We talked about that, but uh, how do you, as a company, manage that and maintain a consistent approach across your operations?
Well, this will be easy if you harmonize the data practice, because you cannot give the impression in your company that today we do this, tomorrow we do that, depend of the situation. No, must be a policy, very structured policy, and everybody inside the company must to know how to act in that particular situation. So all these laws must to be aware about if it's inside of the company, everybody must to know what to do, what is their own role. If it's when we are leader with different laws for different countries, because there are different laws in two situations in different countries and inside our country. Because let's see, how you use the example my country, or any country actually have the same. You have that data protection law, then you have labor law, then you have a civil law, consumer law, and all these law, they work together. Different when the people think, they work together. And it doesn't matter if you take care about data protection law, but then you have some, for example, some duty that the tax law may say. I will use X example. Tax law in my country, they say you must to save this information for 5 years.
Okay.
The data protection say this information of I don't know, for example, the customer, since after you use it, you must delete it. But then the tax law say no, you cannot delete for 5 years, because you needed to go back for that information, prove something if it was paid the tax or not. Same thing. Okay, you have the labor law that usually you treat the employee like if he was not a data subject. So subject he is, and then doesn't matter when this guy leaves the company, maybe he will sue you because you don't take care of him with the data protection law, because he is employee, but he is also subject of data. So the company inside of the law in country, they must to combine all this law. Consumer law is that is inside of the consumer law the right that the data protection law provide. But the data protection law, it's more rights, let's say, list more, and consumer, you must protect the privacy of your client. It's like a resume. So it's I protect the privacy. But you change the name if he has to change. For example, I marry now, my name changed. You made the transfer because you have a portability right. The consumer law don't care about this. You must protect the privacy. But the
Okay.
data protection law, there is many other specific tools that rules that you must to follow. So this is something that the company must be aware. It's to be combine all this law and make this all this right works together. And if we are talking about international law, even it's even a little bit more difficult because after all this, you must to be aware about this other country law.
Other
So in
countries.
this case, the other company, let's say the subsidiary, must to have a law there, a lawyer there that know about the own law and not to think I listen many cases say I have a data protection or compliance in my country, so I don't need to do that. It doesn't matter because it's other law or the system or the regulator. So you must to have each country you have your own law and your own software. You cannot combine. This is different system.
Absolutely. So, Vanya, I think it has been an insightful session with you today, and there's a lot that all of us learned. Uh, how you so very well and in such easy terms explained the role and the responsibility of each organization towards, protecting the data of their consumers, the importance of data protection and the different laws that govern with it. So I'm sure everybody who was hearing this and who would be hearing it even afterwards can understand how important it is to adhere to these different compliances and these regulations and how to take care, because everybody has their rights. Every consumer, every individual has their rights. So it is very, very necessary to abide by these, and of course take help from professionals and companies who are already doing this, who are experts in this, in order to make sure that the data is safeguarded. So thank you so much for sharing all of these invaluable insights with everyone.
I say thank you for you, Farida, for all podcast assistance. And I'm aware and here for whatever doubt anybody have, please contact me. I am in the Instagram, in every social media as Terra Compliance. So it will be my pleasure to receive and answer any doubt, any question somebody from your audience have. Thank you, Farida, for trusting and invite me.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, signing off, remember, safeguarding your data is a constant journey, not a destination. Stay informed, stay compliant, and stay empowered in the dynamic environment of data privacy regulations. Until next time, prioritize your privacy and data protection. Stay safe. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.